Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Corinne and this is my channel primarily about cross stitch, but I do let you guys see my other projects in sewing and quilting. Today is Sunday, March 2nd, 2025, and this is Flosstube number 35. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I am glad to be back with you from St. Louis, Missouri. Not a lot going on outside of the stitching you're going to see today, but winter's still here, but we're slowly working our way out of it. I'm very excited to be back with you. Welcome to my returning friends. Welcome back to my returning friends. And a heartfelt welcome to those of you that are new here. I'm just going to start off today with my shout outs, simply because I do not want to get to the end of this video and forget. And you all, February was crazy. It was wild. I actually posted 2 videos in February, the first being my tutorial for the project bag start to finish that I've been trying to get taken care of for months and months and months. I posted that in February, and then I also posted my 2025 whip parade. I only usually do one whip parade, so I try to do that at the beginning of the year. Thank you so much to the many new subscribers that I have received after posting both of those videos. So if you are here for the first time, I hope you hit that subscribe button and stick around for all of the projects that I'm going to be sharing with you this year. And again, thanks to my returning friends. I have a few of you that I'm going to shout out right now. I want to send out a special shout out to Sarah Stitchy Spot. Sarah is a prolific stitcher. If you are not following her, right after you get done with me, head on over there to her. She's just got a lot of beautiful stitching. She does a lot of samplers. And then she's just a sweet spirit in general. But thank you, Sarah, for the shout outs that you have sent me this last few weeks. I appreciate it so much. Always appreciate your support. She is one of the most supportive people out here in Flosstube land. Needleberry Stitcher, thank you, sis, for your shout out. Needleberry Stitcher and I are St. Louis friends. We don't get to see each other that much because we are busy, but we try to get together every now and then. So I know we owe each other a lunch and a trip to Color and Cotton coming up soon. But she also mentioned my tutorial for the project bags. So thank you so much, sis. I'm glad you got a lot out of it, and I'm looking forward to seeing your bags when you feature them on your channel when you get them done. Pam and Steph, what can I say? Y'all know who Pam and Steph are of Just Keep Stitching. They also mentioned my project bags on their channel recently, and gave a shout out to my Layla P Creations Etsy shop. So thank you so much, ladies. I appreciate you so much. You all know Pam and Steph are the goats of Flosstube land. So we appreciate all the support that they give everybody in the community. But I especially wanted to make sure I mentioned them again. They're always, whenever they mention somebody, I know that's a blessing to their channel. So appreciate you, ladies. And then I have a couple of people I wanted to mention that I watched their whip parade, the Hathaway Stitchers. Okay, they had a 2-part whip parade that they released earlier this year, and I really enjoyed watching it. So go and check them out. It's a pair of sisters. I believe Hathaway is not their name, though. I believe their name is associated with the street they used to live on when they were little. So I thought that was cute. But they're both prolific stitchers as well, and had a lot to share considering it was a 2-part whip parade. So if you have not watched them, go check them out. And then lastly, the Science Knitster, and her name is exactly like it sounds, all one word though, Science Knitster. And she also showed a project bag that she had purchased from me on her channel recently. So thank you so much. And if you all have not checked her channel out, go give her a watch and a follow. So I just wanted to make sure I got those out there because like I said, you all, February was a whirlwind. Let me tell you very briefly about this project bag video. I go to upload it. You all, it took me 6 weeks to make that video. And you all, I am a teacher. I'm a FACS teacher for those of you that are new here. So I teach sewing. Culinary is my primary class, but I do teach sewing as well. And I enjoy teaching sewing. But sometimes it can be a challenge because usually your students have a lot of questions. And when you teach teenagers, sometimes their questions come from not paying attention, but not always. So I tend to, when I teach on video, one of the things I try to do is anticipate the questions or think like a teenager and answer those questions before people get a chance to ask them. So that's kind of how I teach. So I try to do a little bit of work on the front end so that you won't have as many questions on the back end. So thank you to all of you who have watched that video and felt like it was clear and you got something out of it and plan to use it when you make your own project bags, because that ultimately is the goal. I'm always one of those people who wants to inspire people to be creative themselves. We love your support. Like I said in my video, if you don't want to make a bag, go buy one from me. I appreciate you. But I always want to encourage people to be creative for themselves. That way they can make exactly what they want for themselves and it reflects their style. And then with that video, I also wanted to help people make them look more professional. So thank you again for watching that video. I really, really, really appreciate it. But let me finish this story about this video. It took me 6 weeks to do it because you all could tell my nail polish changed 3 times in that video because I just do it in segments and with work and the kids and husband and in and out. So I would just film when I had time and I try to get a good chunk each time. So I had well, as you all can see, it's a 2-hour video. So you know I had more than that footage, longer than that. And you see I added music. I don't think I've ever... I've done it once before, but not throughout the video. I just wanted to make it clean and I wanted to make it enjoyable to watch. So I done all these things. You know, I stepped out of my comfort zone, made panels on Canva for the different chapters. And you all, I go to upload the video and it wasn't uploading. And usually that means I just need to clear off my hard drive on my computer. So I did that. And then I go back to iMovie to upload the video. It was gone. I don't know what I hit. You all, technology is not my thing. It really stresses me out, to be honest. But I'm okay with it. I'm trying to keep up with it. You know, the older I get, I don't want that to deter me from doing positive things. So I go to my iMovie and everything from my iMovie is gone. All of my footage from everything. And I was just done. I didn't know how to, and you know, it was my work computer. So I wasn't sure how to recover it. And it was a whole thing. My husband is very techie, but he's not a Mac person. They don't use Mac at his job. And we don't have any, my Mac is the only one we have at home. My daughter has one, but she's not here. And I was like, babe, and don't get me wrong, you all, I still had the footage. I keep the footage, I record on my phone, and I still had all the footage on my phone. But just the thought of having to redo the music, the editing, you notice in certain areas when I'm sewing, I sped up the video just so you don't have to sit there and watch me do all that sewing. And I just was like, to have to go through that again and redo it. And I'm a stickler for that kind of stuff. I want it to be right. So I had to pray, because I was like, Lord, please let me recover. And my husband was like, just go to tech on Monday and they will help you. And I'm like, okay. And it wasn't that I didn't believe him, y'all, but you just never know, especially when you're dealing with people at your job. So I went to the one tech guy, shout out to Vinny at my job. I said, I called down to tech and I said, is Vinny available? And they were like, no, but what do you need? I said, I need Vinny. I knew if anybody could get it done, it was him. I don't have to explain nothing. I need Vinny. And they were like, okay, well, and they know I don't call down there. So they sent him to me. And he was like, he came in the room, what's going on? Because he knows I don't call like that. And so I told him what happened. And he said, okay, let's sit down. So we sat down. In 15 minutes, I don't even think he know what he pushed though. In 15 minutes, everything was restored. Back to my drive, my iMovie, and it was just like it was before it got deleted. Disaster averted, you all. Because I was like, whoa. It was going to be a long week if I had to redo all that editing that I had done. And then I had already done the footage for my whip parade, but I didn't want to upload it until I got that done. I wanted that off my plate. So that's what I did. So all that to say, I'm glad my technological skills are improving, but they stress me out. They stress me out so much. So what do I have for you today? I've got a lot of whips. I don't have any finishes, but I have a lot of whips, and I have good progress on some whips, and I'm very close to a finish on some of these whips. So I am so excited about the spring because I'm going to be able to whip some of these out, literally. So let's start with, we'll start with a small. Actually, we'll start with my new start. I do have a new start. I've had this for about a year, and this is one of those Cottage of the Months by Cottage Needleworks. And this is February. I had at least 3 or 4 Valentine whips in here, fully kitted up, that I was going to start. And the month just got away from me. So I said, I need to at least start something. So last Sunday, I sat down and pulled out this February. I had it for the most part kitted up. I'm going to show you the threads. And some of these threads do go to other things that are in that bag. But these ones in the front and these pinks are all for that one. And I did convert some of them. Like I think it was a poblano pepper, and I converted that to Liberty by Color and Cotton. But the chart called for Pink Champagne by Classic Colorworks, and I didn't have that. But I had, and the DMC alternative was 3806, which I knew was a really bright, darkish pink. So I was like, pretty sure I have something I can use in its stead. And I'm so glad this pink Dream House is dreamy, you all. So it's almost like a perfect pink. And I know Dream House is kind of a reference to Barbie Dream House. So here's my start. This is a 32 count Color and Cotton Lugana, no name. It was a limited edition, but there's my start. Don't those pinks look beautiful on that? This is the Dream House. I believe these hearts and then the word February is going to be in Dream House. This is that other pink that was on there, but doesn't that look pretty? And that green is that Liberty that I mentioned. So I'm very pleased with this start. This is just one day. On Sundays, I like to work on 2 projects. One, before the sun goes down, and then another one when I'm in bed before I go to bed. So this was during the day. I was right before dinner. I kind of worked on it a little bit. So that was pretty good progress for me. So my plan is to touch this again in March. So that is Cottage Needleworks February Cottage of the Month. And it's a combination of Classic Colorworks, Color and Cotton, and DMC. This next one is by Brooks Books. As you all know, I think I mentioned in my last video or in my whip parade, she passed away recently. And I do know her Etsy shop has definitely been shut down, But I just checked a couple days ago and her website with her freebies on it is still there. So if you're looking into getting some of her stuff or any of these that I'm going to show you, they are still available. And this is Mary Mouse. That's what she's going to look like right there. But I am doing this on a 16 count blue Lugana. And you all, I'm thinking I'm going to start sticking with 16 count on Ada. It's almost like 18 count is getting too small. And I don't even think it's my eyes or anything. But before I decide I'm not going to work on 18 count anymore, I think I'm going to try one strand and see if I like that better. But 16 count, I like it. You can still use 2 strands. I'll insert where I was the last time. And here's where I am now. She's cute and she's almost done. I have her feet left to do. I have the tutu to finish, and I have to finish, I got to outline in here a few things, but most, oh, and I have her tail. She's got a long black tail. I think it goes on this side. Long black tail. So I got to do her feet and all that. Now there's some snow down here and there's a border. I don't think I'm going to do the border because I'm probably going to frame it or make an ornament out of it, something like this. This is just a little 3-inch spring hoop that I like for smalls. I'll probably end up doing something small, or a small round finish on it. So I don't think I'm going to put the border on it. The border square. So I'm going to leave that off. And there is a number 3 that goes down here because it's an advent calendar. I think I'm going to leave the 3 off. Well, I know I'm going to leave the 3 off. And then I'm going to find some different snowflakes to put in its place. But that's Mary Mouse by Brooks Books. All right, let's get into some of these bigger projects. The first one I want to bring up is one that I have committed to really trying to get some work done on in 2025, and that is Spirit Dancer by Butternut Road. This is probably one of my oldest whips, dates back to like maybe the early 2000s, like before 2003. Because I remember I was still living at home with my mom before I got married when I first bought the pattern. It is being done on a 28 count prairie grain linen that I do not like, which is why it's taking me so long. But all of this white is rough too. I don't mind the greens and all of that stuff back there, but the white, ooh, because it's combinations of white and ecru and then the 644, 642 colors. So I spent a good part of my stitchy time that night, you all, just trying to find my place. This is on a paper pattern, which I have made a working copy. And I'm just going to show you this. If you can tell something from this, then you are a miracle worker. But this is my copy. And so I'm by hand highlighting everything. So I don't know if I kept up with the highlighting the last time I touched this. And this is down at the bottom. I'm down here on her dress. That's where I am. So I had been working up at the top where her face is. So coming down here, I was like, oh, let me knock some of this white out. It took me like 30 minutes to really know where I was. So here's where I am now. I have not done very much. I just kind of filled in right here. And that's what I was trying to do. Fill in those darker streaks first. And then I can just go back and forth with the white. But I have a block of the ecru coming down here also. So I think maybe I need to go ahead and block that out. And then when I come over here, this will just be mindless stitching and I can just go. But y'all see how thin it is. So just I'm not a fan. But I'm going to finish this project. So it's staying in this Q-snap. So when I get ready to feel like doing it, it's ready to go and I don't have to try and figure it out. I also have to use a 24. I normally use a 26 size needle for everything, but for this I have to use a 24 because as I'm stitching, the needle falls back out before I can bring my other hand to grab it. So I have switched to a 24 size needle and that kind of sticks in there a little better and doesn't fall out. So this is where I am with Spirit Dancer. I just showed this in my whip parade, so I'm not going to take it out of the hoop because there's a lot of wrangling to get it back in there. But once I get my place, I know I'll enjoy this more. All right, next is my stitch along. And this is Modern Folk Embroidery. Put a bird on it. This is part of the Stitch Along with the Sunshine Stitchers. Go join their Facebook page so you can get all the information about it. But it started in December and it goes until December 2025. They have a picture of this broken up into different pieces, 12 pieces for the year. I am not doing it that way. I have this in Pattern Keeper. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to aim for 10% every month. So by, October, November, if I've not done that 10% in a couple of months, I can make up for it as I get towards the end of the year. I did not actually start this until January 3rd was when I actually picked it up and started it. So everybody else started it on, I think, December 15th. So here is my progress. This is a 32 count color and cotton solo die, and all of the threads are color and cotton as well. Let me back up because I had said in my last video I wanted to get all the way down the page to make sure I had enough room, and I did. So I'm very grateful for that. But these are all my conversion. I just kind of found a fabric that I showed in my whip parade. I think I showed it again, and then that was the fabric for my inspiration. So I can give you the stats on this one because this one again is in Pattern Keeper, but this has 13,557 stitches in it, and I have done 2,758 stitches, and that has me at 20.34% here at the beginning of March. So my goal is to get to 30% by the end of March, and that gave me a total of 1,130 stitches that I had done since my whip parade. So I'm really enjoying this one. Quakers, I think that might be my jam. I like Quakers. Love this color. And I am kind of charting it out as far as colors as I go. Now, all but 2 of the colors that I'm using are represented here. I still have Sweet Basil by Color and Cotton and Red Velvet by Color and Cotton. Now, I made a photocopy of that cover sheet that I just showed you all. And I kind of tried to map out where I wanted the different colors. This is the side that I just did. But then you see I start scratching stuff out and, drawing arrows. I said, you know what, forget it. So I went back and I copied it again. And I left this side blank because I want to get, just do it as I go, because I want the colors to kind of be spaced out. This color that was at the top here, I'm going to repeat it here. And then that red velvet color that I mentioned, it's going to be here and here, or I'm sorry, here and here, here and here, because I'm only using that color on the birds. So I think once I'm finished with this motif down here at the bottom, I think I'm going to come back up to the top and do these here, because that's going to be red velvet, and then I'll decide what I'm going to do there. And actually this is going to be red velvet. So I'm probably going to come back up, do this one, and then maybe jump back up here and work my way across. I think that's what I'm going to do. But I know that I got to decide on that one next. So we will see. I changed my mind quite a bit, and then I have to chart my initials to take the place of Jacob's. Okay, there's a space on the chart there that I have to put my initials. So I think I might even do my initials in a completely different color. That way it will stand out. And once I get finished, if anybody's interested, I can put down in the comments in a future video the different colorway that I have decided to use. But I'm really enjoying it. These motifs are beautiful, and I just enjoy working on this very, very much. So knocking out that 10% each month is not hard. I've actually enjoyed it a lot. So that is Put a Bird on It by Modern Folk Embroidery. And again, this is a 32 count solo die by Color and Cotton. And for now, it's in this bag. I still haven't made myself a bird bag yet, but that's on my agenda for spring break, which is coming up very soon for me. All right, I'm trying to stay neat today so I won't have so much to clean up. Oh, this next one, loving, loving, loving it. This is This Juneteenth Day by Shaded Stitchery. Again, this is on Pattern Keeper, so my goal for this month, February, was 10%. Okay, and I definitely wanted to touch this Juneteenth Day for Black History Month. So I'll insert a picture of where I was at Whip Parade time. And then you all, this is where I am. I finished the words. And then I finished that second urn right here. I love this fabric more and more every time I see it. It looks like it belongs on this fabric. And these are the slave ships represented here. Of course, the water that ancestors were brought across to this country over. That, of course, is the North Star, which guided slaves to freedom. Just the symbolism is fabulous. And for those of you that don't know, there's an alternative verse. If you are not of African American or Black people descent, you can change this. She has provided a different version of the verse. There are quite a few people that are working on this. I think EJ and Shelia from Sunshine Stitchers are working on this. I know Stitching and T with B. I know she's pretty close to being done if she's not already done. And then Sarah Stitchy Spot. Sarah's working on this, and she did use the alternative verse. She's inserting the alternative verse. So I love it. So now, and you all, the one thing about it though is a lot of brown. I've already used one whole skein of 3371, and I think I needed 4. So I'm pretty sure, actually it might have been my second skein. I don't remember, but I have definitely used one full one for sure. And as you can see, this next section, these next few rows, that's all brown. I mean, there's different, a couple other shades in the words, Galveston and Washington, DC, but everything else is that 3371. So I'm just going to start working. I'm just going to start plugging into it. I enjoy working on it. Let me tell you my stats for this one. This Juneteenth Day, I started it last year on Juneteenth, 2024. Again, 32 count, Dusty Cottage by Stitch Me. This project has 12,676 stitches in it, and I have done 5,087. So I am sitting right at 40.13%. So super pleased. And since you last saw it, I have done 1,384 stitches. So I don't have any plans for it this month. I kind of want to do some spring things, but May and June, I will definitely be working on it. I probably will pick it back up again in April, but I'm going to leave it. I'm going to put it back in its nerd hoop. And if the desire hits me, I'll pick it back up again. But I'm not going to commit for the month of March to 10%, but I would like to touch it at least once this month. I don't know if I'm going to finish it on Juneteenth. I guess I really could shoot for that. So we'll see, but I am going on a road trip soon. And this turns out to be a good road trip piece. So maybe I will change my plans a little bit and take it with me when we go. But that is this Juneteenth Day. And I love it. it's coming right along and I'm really enjoying it. I have 2 more whips to share and a little bit of investments, and then I'll share my plans. So my other project, I had 3 projects that I had slated to work on for Black History Month. This Juneteenth Day, Seeds of Freedom by Silver Creek Samplers, and then this next one. I did not get to Seeds of Freedom, but I've decided, okay, I missed it in February. I'm at least going to touch it today. So I have put it in an urge, and it will be my evening stitch for today. But the other one that I did get to, and again, it's on Pattern Keeper, so I did 10%, and that is African Woman and Baby by Haynes Needlecrafts. And I purchased this off of Etsy, so it was a PDF. She has at least 2 others that I am definitely going to purchase, but I want to finish this one first. I am finished with her body, and now I'm working on all of that greenery. So this is being stitched on a 32 count Atomic Ranch Amber Waves. And I started this on Juneteenth as well. We were out of town last year for Juneteenth, so this one and this Juneteenth day got started in the car. And I'll insert a picture of where I was, and this is where I am now. So I finished her legs, and you can kind of see her bracelets there. I know those are really going to stand out once I do all the back stitching. And then I did all of this greenery down here at the bottom. So she is looking good. It's a lot of greenery, but it's at least 5 or 6 different colors of green. And if you've been here for any length of time, you know I like color changes. So just this little bit down here was 10%. This project has 5,789 stitches in it, and I have done 3,933. So since the last time you saw this, I've done 885 stitches, which brings me to 67.94%. So she's looking fabulous. Now, she's got a lot of back stitching, especially on her body. It's a little bit in the leaves, but it's mostly outlining her body and then outlining the details. So I may, for this month, because again, this one's not on my definite list, or I have to look at my card and see what I wrote on there. But I want to keep going with her. This one, I think I can get done by Juneteenth. So that would be nice if this could be my Juneteenth finish, because I do have another one, I think, by Nuri that I would like to start related to Juneteenth. And I think she puts out a Juneteenth pattern every year. So I know the one from last year I liked. So I'm definitely going to try and get that one and start it for Juneteenth this year. So I'm very pleased with my cultural stitching project choices. So again, African Woman and Baby, and I'm working on that greenery down there. And as you can see, it's a lot, but it's going quickly. I think I only worked on this, I gave it a week, and I was able to get to that 10% in the week. I might have even gone a little bit over the 10%, but super pleased with that project. And my last one, another one for 10%. This is the, oh, hold on, I don't have my chart ready. Sorry about the zipper. Here it is. The Nutcracker tree. I will put in a second where I was the last time you saw this, but I committed to another 10% on this project, and you all, I am in the home stretch. This is being done on a 32 count splash mint, or I'm sorry, mint splash Lugana that I got from Color and Cotton. Again, it's 32 count. And this chart is by Tiny Modernist. Have you all seen Sleeping Beauty, her Sleeping Beauty chart? I gotta get it. I already have the Wizard of Oz tree. I'm not a huge Alice in Wonderland fan, so I did not plan on getting that one. But when I saw those little 7 dwarfs on that one shelf by themselves, I said, sold. So I have got to get that one. I don't know if it's on PDF yet, but if it is not, I will wait until it comes out on PDF. I waited for Nutcracker Tree to be a PDF, and Wizard of Oz is also a PDF. But that Snow White is adorable. So here is where I was, and this is where I am now on Nutcracker Tree. Love it. And I'm almost done, y'all. I had just the bottom part of this Nutcracker done last time. All of this was done, but then I just had the bottom part of the Nutcracker, and I had to go back and do this little doll in her hand, finish the Nutcracker, and then I did this other ballerina and this ornament, and finished this shelf, finished this part of the shelf, and now this is that bow that's at the bottom, that big bow. So I have at least got my place for that. I need to finish this package and this leaf, and then I have that huge swag down here to finish up. I think there's some big ornaments and greenery and a few colored little ornaments on the swag, but that's it, you all. I have really enjoyed this project. There's a little bit of back stitching that I'm going to need to do. I know on the clock, to put the face on the clock, and I think the girls have eyelashes, so I need to do their eyelashes, but it's just a little bit of back stitching, not a lot. So this one is my Christmas stitch, my current Christmas stitch, I should say, and it's going to stay until it's done. And this has 7,064 stitches in it, and I have done 5,950, and that puts me at 84.23%, and I have done 725 stitches since the last time you saw it. So we are definitely on the downhill slope, and I'm super pleased with this project. Only things I changed, the ornaments are done with Etoile, same color as the red in the jacket and on the swag and things like that, but I used Etoile on all of the ornaments, and then I also used some acrylic blending filament, like in her wings. I used a light color 032, I think, and then like on his crown, on his hat, and then in the ornaments, I also used a kind of gold color acrylic with those yellows. So Nutcracker Tree is slated for a finish real soon. I'm gonna let's see, what did I say? I was at 84. I'm gonna say April. If I might catch a bug, I might take it on the trip. So if I take it on the trip, that's a lot of car time, so it might get knocked out sooner. But I'm gonna say April for sure for Nutcracker Tree. So there it is, and I've really enjoyed working on it and cannot wait to start on another Tidy Modernist ASAP as soon as I'm done with this one. Right? I've got plans and investments for you next, and we'll go ahead and start with investments. I did a 1, 2, 3 stitch order early in January, I believe, and I got a couple of things that have been on my wish list for quite some time. The first one being this Tiny Modernist chart called the Frog Prince. And obviously, you all, that is Tiana and her prince. And Tiana is one of my favorite Disney princesses. My daughter loves her too. I've got a couple of Tiana patterns that I want to get done, but I thought I'd start with this tiny one. I'd seen it somewhere, and it can be done into like a pincushion, like a drum type pincushion. I'm not sure I'm going to do it that way, but I'm definitely going to do it. But this is by Tiny Modernist, and I just love her diversity in her stitching projects. She's definitely one of my top designers, but I could not find this on PDF. So I went ahead and got it from 123 Stitch. And the other thing I got from 123 Stitch is I finally got my Cryonic cord maker. You all, they are so good with, you know, if you want something and it's not available, if you put your email, they'll send you an email when it's available. Well, these things were flying off the shelf in December. They would send me the video or send me the email saying, hey, this is back in stock. And then I'd finally get there, gone. That happened to me, I think, twice. But they must have been getting constant shipments because it took, on the third time, it was probably maybe 2 weeks later from the first time they sent the email. And I just kept signing back up. And the last time they had it, so I got it and the frog prints, since that was also on my wish list. So now I can finish some things that I've been wanting to put cording around the edge. So I'm super excited. And that's part of my plans. You all will see some finishing, hopefully my next video. I got, in addition, the only other investments I got were my fabrics of the month. I'm still in Bestitch Me. This was February. Frozen Lake, 32 count Lugana. I like it a lot. I'm sure I'll be able to find something to put on that. It's definitely blue, but it's got a little bit of purple in it. That's pretty true. You see all that? That's purple, but it's beautiful. So very pleased with that one. And then my last one was Lichen by Under the Sea Fabrics. It's a greenish brown, 32 count Lugana. But I like the way her fabrics feel. They feel nice. So again, that's Lichen, fabric of the month. I believe this was January. And then this Frozen Lake was February for Bestitch Me. So I think I have another one coming soon for Under the Sea. So let me share my plans with you all. I told you all in my last regular Flosstube back in January that I'm moving towards, just using these little cards. So here is my February card. I made it pink so I'd be able to keep up with it. And I had on the front the things I definitely wanted to try and get to. So I had 4 things listed. And as you can see by the highlights, I got to 3 of them. I'm going to work on this one today and I'm going to highlight it when I'm done. So, and then I always try to put down things that are close to a finish that I want to focus on. So Annie's Market, I did not touch that one, but I did touch Nutcracker Tree. And then on the back, I put, if I want to start anything new, what I have to pull from for new starts. So I had Rosina Dissery, and then I had a Valentine start. I did the Valentine start, so I highlighted it. And then over here, I have the things that I'm determined to touch every month, if possible, for the year. Doesn't matter how long or how many days. I'm not putting a time on it, but I got to touch it. So I put a bird on it, and I put my 10%, which I did. And then I put, that should say Spirit Dancer. And then this one was Vintage Baker. I didn't get to that one, but I will this month. Spring break is this month. So I'm going to put it on the floor stand and work on it for sure. So I really liked doing this because whenever I didn't know what I wanted to work on, I just go look at my card and then I just pick something off of it. I have started my card for March. Today's only the 2nd, but I have a number of things on here. I have Annie's Market. I'm ready to finish that. That's close to a finish. So I have Annie's Market on there. Phoenix Sampler. I want to pick that back up and do 10% on it. That February Cottage. Just work on it maybe one day just to keep it going. Maybe finish the word February and call it a day. African Woman and Baby. And I have put the percent that I want to get to, 10%. So the stitch count for that percent would be to get to 77.94%. That's the percentage I want to get to. And then Nutcracker Tree, same thing. I want to get to at least 94.23%. And if I'm feeling good, I'm going to push for a finish. On the back, I have put my new starts. I can't get real close because they're both the new starts that I want to start are for people that might watch my channel. But I plan to monitor my progress and show it to you all. And then, of course, I have my 3 on here again that I want to do each month. Put a bird on it. I need to get to at least 30.34%. Spirit Dancer and Vintage Baker. I thought about doing 1% on Vintage Baker, but 1% was like 3,000 stitches. So I just want to touch it and make some progress. So that's where I am for March. I am going to add probably my focus on the finish ones at the bottom, but that's where I am so far. So some of these, hopefully I'll be able to touch and mark them off ASAP. I have a list of my 2025 plans and starts that I keep. And then I told you all I keep my Etsy bags that I want to work on. I keep everything on one of these little cards. But something else that I wanted to share real quick is Nashville. Nashville Needlework Market is this coming weekend. And I am not the kind of person that has to have things immediately. But I have identified just a couple of things that I really want to make sure I get. One of them is the cookbook. I'm getting ready to start a gift for somebody out of the last year's cookbook, because if you all aren't familiar with those cookbooks, they have recipes, but they also have charts, smalls in there. So it's definitely worth the investment. So I definitely want to get the cookbook. And then I think Rebel Stitcher had a design that I really wanted to get. The Artsy Housewife had something new that I liked. JBW had a round of bees, I think it was called. I'm not going to get that one right away, but it's on my list. She usually comes to Needlework Galleria in September, so I'll just wait until I go to her booth, if she's there, and get it in September. But the other one that I really, really was excited about was the Nativity Tiny Town and the Nativity Frill by Heart and Hand. Sold as soon as I saw them. As soon as I saw them, I was like, oh, I need to get that. There was one more. Oh, Erin Elizabeth, I think she had Birds in Nature. She has a sparrow. I have decided I want to have like a wall with just bird stitching on it. I like birds. I always like birds. Maybe in a future video, I'll insert some pictures of the birds that I've had as pets in my lifetime. I'll see if I can drum some of those up, but I'm feeling the birds. A lot of the stuff that I've been marking is bird related, so I kind of want to do a bird wall with just some bird stitching on it. So those are my plans. The only other thing I wanted to mention, I'm a little behind on my Flosstube lately, but I have been trying to keep up with the ideas and the things that I see on Flosstube, or that I just need to jot down that I want to explore and try. I think I've mentioned to you all that I want to design patterns, and that's something I'm determined to at least get started on this year. So to kind of keep my ideas when I'm on the run all in one place. This is just a little notebook that I picked up from the Dollar Tree. See, $1.25. But I liked it because it had this plastic cover on it, because I carry this. It goes everywhere with me. It's in my work bag. It's over here in the kitchen where I do my stitching, or I'm sorry, where I do my sewing. I cut out fabric and stuff over here on the island. And I'm usually got my tablet set up and I'm watching Flosstube or watching another video or listening to a podcast or something. And I keep this there. So, and it's not in any type of organized order. But if I need to jot down a list, if I need to write down a pattern or a fabric that I like that somebody featured in a video, or I just have an idea for a pattern or an idea for a chart or something strike me, I just write it in here. And then when I have time, I just kind of flip through the pages and highlight things that I really want to focus on. So that's just an idea. If you are a creative person and you have a hard time corralling your ideas and your thoughts I have to write things down. I have to get it out of here. Otherwise, I forget it or it becomes a jumbled mess and nothing gets done. So, I think that's it. I'm going to check my notes though. I think it is. So, I want to thank you all for your purchases this month in my Etsy shop and the kind reviews you all have left. I really, really, really appreciate it. I have more bags, some restocks, some Ankara African prints, and just some new designs that are going to appear. You all, this Joann's thing is something else, isn't it? I mean, I'm like, what? So in St. Louis, all we have is quilt shops now. So just been kind of figuring out what I want to do. Definitely from now on when I travel, I got to stop at some fabric stores that are, you know, that are independent in different areas. I know Dallas has a fashion district, so any fashion fabric I can get from there. In April, I'm going to New York with a group of fashion students from my school. So we're definitely going to go to Mood Fabrics when we go to New York. So I'll get some stuff when I'm there, but it's really a blow to the creative community to not have Joann's. I mean, it was all across the United States, and now they're all gone. So it's going to be an adjustment, but I think I've got a backup plan on how I'm going to do it. Definitely be ordering some fabrics online that I like, and definitely utilizing the quilt shops. But I think as far as the variety that's immediately available, but for me it's more of the supplies, the thread, the elastic, the Velcro, the fusible fleece that I use in my project bags. Not having constant access to that is, I think, what is going to be the biggest adjustment. But Waywack is great for sewing supplies, so I'm going to try there. And then you all, I have a stash, trust. So I will definitely just start pulling from that a little bit more. Next month, or actually, I'm going to come back to you again later on this month, in the middle of spring break. I'll come back. 3 weeks is my goal for this year. Just try to get a video out every 3 weeks. But I am going to have Layla's quilt to show. And I also have a goddaughter that has not gotten a quilt from her godmama. I have 3 godchildren, 2 boys and a girl. She's the only one that hasn't got one, y'all. Everybody else got one when they were baby. She'll be 4 next month. I'm bad godmom, or as they call me, G-mommy. But I gotta get that done. So now that she's almost 4, I might as well just make it twin size. So that's my plan. So that's my other thing I gotta get working on during spring break, so I can at least get it done and get it to her sometime during her birthday month. So those are my plans. I can't wait to hear about yours. Please hit subscribe and like and all the things. And hopefully you saw something today that inspires you, or just a little idea to keep you motivated. I have enjoyed being with you. Hopefully spring will have at least started to sprung by the next time I see you. We're 75 degrees on Friday, and today it's 40. So, hey, but if you've lived in the Midwest any length of time, you know that's par for the course. But thank you for coming and being with me today. I look forward to seeing you in about 3 weeks. And please leave me a comment. Let me know what you're working on. And I look forward to seeing you again soon. Have a great week. And as always, you all, be blessed.